What's up, guys? Welcome to the Steve Bisogany Show. This is the first episode of the podcast, so I just wanted to know, Actually, I just wanted to say that, we'll probably start off this episode and tell you how I went from broke college kid to real estate agent to real estate coach, and I'm going to walk you guys through my story and how I got started, so you know exactly who you're talking to every week when you tune into the podcast. So we'll start off to talk about where I came from. I'm a local Philadelphian, came from Northeast Philadelphia. I grew up in a suburb called Bensalem. And then I ended up going to St. Joe's University where I studied accounting. And then that's kind of where the whole story is, where, it's where it all kind of started when I realized I didn't want to do accounting forever. I got an internship that I really hated, and it was a miserable experience. And then I got a second internship in accounting, and it was twice as long and twice as more miserable. Here I am in college, and I'm looking for like some kind of purpose and some kind of meaning for my life. And I'm like, all my friends are getting interviews and jobs. They're getting offers for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. And I'm sitting here, with my thumb up my ass, not really knowing what the hell I want to do with myself. And I'm like, geez, okay, where's the purpose here? I got to find a path. Okay, my mom owns a business. Do I want to go do the family business? I don't really want to clean floors and manage commercial cleaning for the rest of my life. And, I tried to top the stock market, and that was too slow. I mean, the stock market as Warren Buffett calls it, he says it's a device from which, now I'm going to mess this quote up so bad. The stock market is a device of transferring money from the impatient to the patient, or something along those lines. So that didn't work out. It was too slow. And he did it, I'm thinking, what the hell is wrong with me? How do I find something that can make me a living, that I can own my time, I can own my freedom, I can work for myself, but also, be able to, afford life. So then, eventually I buy the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which a friend of mine has described as the gateway drug into entrepreneurism, which I think is a fantastic quote for a fantastic way to describe that book, because it's exactly what it did. It took me into the world of entrepreneurship and investing, and I was like, okay, investing. What can I invest in that makes more money? And I find real estate, and real estate goes, oh yeah, you can buy homes with no money. I was like, great, that's awesome, because I have no money. Let's do that. So Robert Kiyosaki's, I guess they must have detected that I bought the book somehow. So I got a Facebook ad that was targeted to me, and it's like, oh, you got a Robert Kiyosaki seminar coming to Philadelphia or West Philadelphia in whatever, 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, great, cool. I just read this guy's book. Let's go see the guy. Obviously he wasn't there. It was some kind of sales seminar. And I go to this seminar, learn all about how to buy a house with no money at all. I leave the seminar, I am on fire. I'm like, I need to go. I need to learn how to do this more. I invest a lot of my time into doing this, and I'm like, wow, okay, great. Here's the thing. So I get off onto this real new plan. I start wholesaling houses and instead of actually buying them. And, I hit this home run deal, $30,000 check right before senior year starts. I get a $30,000 check, and I'm walking on to campus like I'm the coolest dude in the world. Now, obviously, I'm not going to tell anybody, because I'm not that kind of guy that's going to brag about money. But so I walk onto campus knowing that I just made $30,000 on this wholesale deal, and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm set for life. I'm going to do this forever. I'm just going to make 30 grand on every transaction. Not the case, unfortunately. So I go from $30,000, and my next deal goes to $8,000, and the next deal after that was $5,000, and the next deal after that was $800. And I'm like, this is just getting smaller and smaller. And then, by the end of the year, I was the problem with this whole thing was I was a 21-year-old kid, barely old enough to drink. I could show up to these people's houses, and these motivated sellers are like, oh yeah, okay, great. You said I got your mail or something in the mail and it says you want to buy my house. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I show up, and they're like, you're going to buy my house? You're going to give me $150,000 for cash for this house like you said you were on the phone? I'm like, yeah. They're like, all right, kid, get out of here. So my credibility was kind of not so credible. Or at least or even if it was, maybe it was just I wasn't good at communicating my credibility at the time. So what I needed to come up with another option, and that's where I found the real estate industry. So the industry of being a real estate agent as opposed to just a real estate investor. So now all of a sudden, all these leads that I was getting as for my real estate investment career, they also are now the ones I can't convert investment-wise. I can do this real estate agent-wise. I was like, okay, great. You don't want to sell your house to an investor, but guess what? I got a real estate license. I'll list it for sale. Perfect. Awesome. So I had some people I had a couple of mentors teach me how to become a real estate agent. I'm like, I hit the ground running. I am so fired up about real estate. I'm making every phone call, showing every house, like spinning my wheels like a madman. And again, I didn't have a whole lot of money. So I put more time in than I could more than I should because I didn't have the money. So I had to put the time in. So I'm going through and I would have a phenomenal first year. I get to Rookie of the Year. I get to Leading Edge Society at Berkshire Hathaway. And then, long story short, we went from Berkshire Hathaway, which transferred me over to, then I end up at Keller Williams. I work on the Center City Listings team, which is now, I think we're top 3 in the city of Philadelphia. And I think we're 32nd in the entire country. And at least under the Keller Williams name. I don't know what the stats are total. But across all companies, but we do pretty well. Do over 100 million in sales every year, and it's good. It's a good team. We love the team. It's like 40 plus agents at least at the time of this recording, and I become the educator of the team. I guess the head of education, if you have to give it a name. So, but what happened is I didn't know right away that I was going to end up in this role, and I got to Keller Williams, and they say, "Yeah, you're the Rookie of the Year. You've obviously got some value. You know what you're doing. You can teach new agents how to do stuff since you were the Rookie of the Year when you at Berkshire Hathaway." I was like, all right, sure, whatever. I'll come up with a class to teach somebody because, Keller Williams, they're all about the stereotypical Kool-Aid at Keller Williams. And you got to coach everybody and we got to sing these crazy chants about every morning about, self-affirmations. And we have to be drones and say that people will love to talk to me every morning and this, that, and the other thing. Silly stuff. And I just never bought into any of that. So when they told me to teach a class, I was kind of reluctant. But anyway, I taught this class and I was like, well, that was cool. Like, I really liked the feeling that gave me. There's something there. And I was like, okay, I got to do that again. So the next time they asked me to do a class, I was like, great, cool. Do a class. So I do a class. And then they're like, Steve, do a class every month. I'm like, sure. Like, no problem. I'm like, now I'm having a blast. And I'm teaching classes for free. Like, I'm not, I'm just going through the motions and learning what people are asking for, what people are liking, what people are, what gives the most value to these agents. I'm like, how can I make this office better? I'm like, let me give you this, let me give you that. I'm starting to make things in my spare time to help the other agents in the office. And I'm like, dude, you're clearly liking this coaching. Like, my team leader, David, was like, Steve, you're clearly liking this coaching thing. Like, build a program for the new agents that we hire on this team. I have a goal to build our team to 100 agents, and I need somebody to teach them all. I want you to build a program to teach new agents, and we'll put them through that program. I was like, all right, cool. Let's do that for free. I'm not doing anything. I'm not charging at all this whole time. And so what makes it fun is that you love it when you do it for free. So I start building this program out, and now at the time he had said that we were at like 20 agents. Now we're at 40. I'm hoping in the next couple of years we're going to be like 60 or 70, and it's awesome. And that's where I am today. I'm I guess, like I said, I don't have an official title. We just call it the head of education, I guess. And that's how it all came to be. So that's my origin story. I think, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. So again, this is what I'm doing for episode 1. Obviously, this podcast is going to be about contributing value and making, enriching your lives, literally hacking the real estate world, and changing the way we do this business. And like the real main goal here is we are at the end of 2019. So we are starting a new decade in less than a month. And what I think the real main goal of this, with technology being on the verge of taking over the real estate industry, they will have these, people like Amazon and Zillow are threatening to become brokerages and take over and try to eliminate the realtor, which I think are total crap, because nobody ever buys a house you don't go to Amazon, you don't click add to shopping cart and then walk out. Like, that's not how homes are bought. It's an emotional process. It's a long process. There's a lot of moving parts. There's like 20 some people on average are involved in transactions. So the real main goal, one of the real main goals in this podcast, is to reinstall humanity into the technology that we use today to make the realtors that listen to this podcast that much better. We're going to be making this. We're going to increase the service of these real estate agents by reinstalling the humanity into the technology that we use today. So we're not going to go old school totally and just say that all technology is bad. But we're not going to go so new school and be like, oh, well, let's just automate and abdicate everything. So we're not going to do that either. So hope you're fired up about this podcast and excited about it as I am. And I look forward to so many more episodes of this. And, can't wait to see, where this takes us. So let's bring as many people along for the ride as we can. So I will touch base with you guys in the next episode.